BI Sports Podcast, NFL Week 17 three-baggers, brought to you by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop by at the shop 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. I had another shit week. Sketty had another great week. This is becoming common for me to say. I went 1-2, 3-0, but loses the lock of the decade.
I don't actually gamble, so maybe I should start.
No.
Start actually betting these games.
That's when you're gonna go sideways. Just keep feeding me picks. I'll take care of the financial part. Okay.
Perfect.
All right, we're gonna be back with a recap, 6 more picks, 1 more lock of the decade. We only get to do this for the entire field 2 more weeks before we get into the NFL, and we haven't even talked about what we're gonna do for a 3-bagger when that time comes. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
All right, we're back. We're going to do a quick recap of Week 16, which, again, did not go well for me. That's 1-2, 2 weeks in a row. The Texans, my lone win. Who would have fucking thought that? I felt like I had a healthy set of nuts just taking the Texans plus 10, and then they go and win outright. So
win the game. Yep.
I was just if somebody bet the money line in that, I wish I would have looked at what the odds were on the money line, but it's probably looking up 400 or 500. I would assume. Texans win outright plus 10 dogs. Take it to the Chargers, which really kind of put a damper on the Chargers playoff picture, because that's a game you probably chalk up as a win. But I told you, I said I think they're going to underestimate the Texans because they were coming off the bad loss to the Chiefs in overtime, and I just felt that way. I don't know, felt good about the Texans in that game. Also felt good about the Steelers, which turned out to be a giant mistake at plus 7.5 as they take an L, and Washington at plus 10, who they were not covering that spread like 4 minutes into the game.
But they need another 30 points and they would have covered.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, what was the final? 56-14 or something?
Yeah, 50. Yeah, something like 54.
I would have needed a big number for sure.
Yeah.
On to Sketty, 3-0 with his 3-bagger. That's 2 weeks in a row at 3-0. Lions plus 6. I like that one. I took that one. Chiefs minus 7.5. Obviously cover as I took the opposition. And then the Red Hot Dolphins minus 2.5. They cover handily in New Orleans. So this week's picks. Let's see. I just closed the folder. So we got to go with Sketty's first one, which is actually going to be my first one too. We're in agreement. The Dolphins plus 3.5 at the Titans. What do you got here?
I just think the Dolphins are playing hot right now. The Titans, the Niners should have won handily last week, kind of blew it. A.J. Brown kind of got the better of them in the second half there. But, I just think the Dolphins are playing good football. The Titans still don't impress me. More so with Brown back, but I just like the Dolphins in points here.
I'm with you. I have the Dolphins plus 3.5 also. With you, the defense is just playing such good football right now. Do agree with the Titans getting Brown back. They do look a little bit different, but this is a spot where we're now looking at Tannehill to become an efficient thrower multiple weeks in a row, and I just don't think he can do it. If he could, he'd probably still be with Miami instead of with his second team. But it just seems like the Dolphins are on a beeline for the playoffs with this win streak, and whether do I think they'll have a lot of success if they get into the playoffs? Probably not. But the fact that the growth that this team has had throughout the season is going to make them dangerous, for some years to come.
I'll tell you, I hated the Jalen Waddle pick when they did it. but holy shit, he looks really, really good.
He's
right
unbelievable.
now.
Yeah,
he looks. Yeah, he looks like,
they're play calling for him, which is what as soon as he started, showing these flashes, they bought right into it, which I think is really part of the offensive. A major part of why the offense has been so successful is just because they have bought that Jalen Waddle needs the football, put it in his hands, and they've been doing that at a good rate, and it's been paying off, with wins on the schedule. So. Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I've been riding the Dolphins here for a while now. I think last week was the first week I didn't take them in a 3-bagger for some time, and they've covered. They're like in that 7-0 stretch. I can't look back that far and say, but I know they've covered at least like the last. Oh, I think they didn't cover. They beat the Jets, but didn't cover. But they got to be like 5 or 6-1 in this stretch of the win streak.
Yeah.
So. All right, on to Sketty's second pick. He's got the Bengals getting 5.5 at home against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was a little scared to go with this just because after a big win like that, you always kind of think there's going to be a letdown game. But the Chiefs have really again, they don't impress me like they do other people for some reason. And what are the odds they're going to go on a giant tear and win every game out for, what are they on, a 7-game win streak? 8-game win streak?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, at some point in time, they got to lose. I think this is a good spot for it. So the Bengals getting the points, even if they pull out a close one, I don't think it's a blowout, by any means.
Yeah, I am very intrigued by that game as far as from a betting standpoint. I don't know where I can go with it, but I think I would side with the points regardless of which team was getting them. Just because you assume close game, you want to take the points rather than swallow them. But yeah,
it seemed like a big line, especially at home. I just don't. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'm due for a loss, I guess.
Yeah, you are.
Because
I've been taking all of them.
yeah. I mean, this might be it.
All right, I'm second pick. I'm riding the Texans again, 12.5 against the Niners, which Sketty will leave his rebuttal for the lock of the decade. But Mills Mafia. He's. I'm reading a lot of articles now where there's sports writers saying, "Hey, like you might have something here if you give this guy some time." He's looked good, poise, got a good arm. I just liked that amount of points. You never know which 49ers team is showing up. You know that better than I do. But I still think the Niners do win this game. I don't think this is we're not going to see another Chargers type game for the Texans, but I think they can keep it close enough on the scoreboard to cover 12.5. So I'm riding the Texans as I should. They were my only win last week. Why not give them another shot?
I definitely think I don't think that's a bad call by any means. The Niners, I think we'll see them go back to pounding the rock a little bit this week, especially if Garoppolo can't play, maybe even if he can play with the thumb injury. This could be a close scoring win.
Sketty's last pick. He's taking the Cowboys over the Cardinals -6 at home.
The Cardinals just look like dog shit to me. The last few weeks, I see nothing in this team that tells me they can keep it within 6 of the Cowboys, who are playing phenomenally right now. So just both sides. You got a team that's playing poorly, team that's playing well at home. I just really think the Cowboys run away with this.
Yeah, Kyler, to me, starts each season the same way. He plays so good at the beginning of the year, and it's just kind of like he regresses as the season goes on. I don't know if it's more film people have, to review.
Yeah,
and
he looked awful Saturday. I mean,
yeah, correct.
Yeah, it was just.
But I just think, like we said, they went out during free agency and they brought in several, and I think veterans would be an understatement when you describe J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, guys who have been in the league that long. These are guys who are towards the end of their career. They bring these guys in. It looks sexy. It looks flashy. But, these guys struggle to play full seasons, specifically J.J. Watt. But I think that, the wear and tear of a long season, it takes a toll on the older guys. I mean, it's just the way it is, right? It's just life. They're not in the shape that these, rookies and guys who have been in a few years. it just takes their toll, and it's just been, it's showing in the last few weeks. The Cardinals can't come away with a win if they had to. So,
yep.
Yeah, and to note too on the Cowboys, just the way their defense is playing is just stupid.
Defense has been,
yeah.
Mike Parsons is good.
So's Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs is good too. Yes, Mike Parsons is. Oof.
Yeah, he's a beast. That was a fantastic pick.
Yeah.
On to my last one. They let me down last week. I don't think they will this week. I'm taking the Steelers +3 at home. They are, I believe, at home against the spread, have covered every game as a dog, not as a favorite, but as a home dog. They cover, and the Browns are just a train wreck. And I just think there's, with John Johnson's tweet, I know it's not getting a whole lot of media attention.
Yep.
As the week has gone on. But there's some questions flying around from players, coaches in that building, it sounds like to me. And I just think the meltdown is on. I think they're on quite a losing streak right now, or maybe not a big one, but 2-3 games anyways.
I tend to agree. Ben at home and what probably his last start
right
at home. I kind of agree with you here. I think this is an easy pick.
Yeah, and actually, I hadn't even really thought about that part, but that's another thing I do like about the pick is something that you just brought up. It's possibly his last home game. He's going against a team that he has just dominated for the majority of his career.
Monday night game. That place is gonna be rocking.
Yeah, it is gonna be rocking. So yeah, that's a good point. I actually have some coworkers who are going down to that. Doherty and Spro, Mumford, and I think AJ. They're all going down to watch that. So yeah, I like the Steelers at home with the points. So before we get to the lock of the decade, we did have a couple comments from Darren that are worthy of putting up. Public service announcement: the Colts are a fucking wagon. We might win a playoff game. So
I agree. I think I've been on the Colts here for a couple weeks. I've been telling you, I really like what they look like.
Darren asked too, do you think the Colts still beat the Raiders if Wentz doesn't clear protocol? So Ellinger's playing, right? If Wentz, isn't that what they decided?
If Wentz can't go, yeah. I heard they were in talks with Phil Rivers too.
They didn't. He turned it down though.
They turned it down again? Well, yeah. I still think depends on what Raiders team shows up. I would normally say without Wentz, it'd be a little bit tougher to get a win against this Raiders team, but the Raiders are another one of those teams. 1 week they look like world beaters, and next week they look like the Jags.
And that's the thing too, though, with Carr can have games where he's an absolute turnover machine, and the Colts are the best in the league at getting turnovers as it stands. So, I think the Colts win that game. I don't know what the line is. But outright, you still have Jonathan Taylor. They are going to be missing. I think Quentin Nelson is he? I know he tested positive. I don't know if he's ruled out for the game already or if he has a shot to return. That is huge. But
and that's defense. You can run. You can beat anyone.
Yeah, like Darren just said, as long as we have someone to hand the ball to JT, I think that's really all you need. I mean, that guy's a horse, and he's been carrying that team, I think, for the majority of the season as it is offensively, because they commit to him. And, when you have a back who can do that and a line who can block, that's exactly what you're going to get. All right. Lock of the decade. Sketty likes the Niners -12.5.
Now, let me give you my logic on this here, because I know this is a little shaky one.
It's pretty shaky.
Everything was telling me take the Texans. Like, you got a messy quarterback situation. You're coming off that big loss. Take the Texans and the points. And then I thought about it and said, what do the Niners like to do? After they blow a game like that, just like they did to Seattle, they come back and they just shit stomp the next opponent. So I really think I'm going to go with the trend of them shocking everyone and just making the Texans look like the Texans this week, and big win, hopefully solidify their playoff spot.
Yeah, I like I said,
Mitchell's maybe coming back.
I think they win regardless, but I just the number, I'm going to ride Mills Mafia because I like that kid, and I just like saying Mills Mafia too. Actually,
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what he can do. He might be running for his life a little bit this week.
Well, he's went from one Bosa to the next.
He's going to the better Bosa, brother, now.
The better Bosa.
He knows what's coming, I guess. The better Bosa.
All right. Thanks, everybody, again for listening. Really appreciate you all. And, the comments and stuff. I love each week we seem to be getting more and more, and that makes the show more fun. Some of the stuff, the comments we get are just hilarious. And that's, laughing is part of why we're doing this. So thanks again, listeners, sponsors, Swing Juice, Napoli's, YourDailyLocal.com, Means Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Blue Line Auto, and the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast. Till next week, which will be fun because we'll have a even more clear playoff picture where, we'll be able to probably hack those lists down a little bit from the bubble teams that we've been talking about. So, till next week, take care, be safe. Thanks for listening.